I'm trying to understand. So could you be my best friend before you call yourself my man? Why can't I love you in slow motion? Take my time.
Everybody, I'm making a video today on dating. Now, I'm not a dating expert. I'm fairly new to it, so I can't. It's just my opinions. I mean, the whole blog is just our experiences. But yeah, I mean, I've been dating for a while, and I feel like I've learned a lot. I know you're probably like, but didn't you just send a letter? These videos were kind of delayed. Sorry, but we're getting better, see? Because now here's this one. Anyways, so I guess I should kind of recap what happened with the letter. So I did send the letter to my ex, and it was for me, and I did get out everything I need to say. And we're good. We talked over Christmas break. It wasn't bad. We had a great conversation. I think we're in great places, personally, and together. So, like, we're good. Like, we're friends, and that's great, and I'm okay with that. And while this has been a really long process, a lot of people been talking to me about, oh, well, you have to really let go and all this. And I'm kind of at a point where I'm kind of tired of hearing that message. I feel like I'm done with the situation. I love him. I'm going to always love him because I feel like true love never dies. But I'm not in love with him, and I'm not waiting on him, and I feel good. And so I don't need anyone to tell me that, how I should behave towards him or in relation to whatever. It's kind of getting old because I feel like the people who, and I don't think people are doing it on purpose. I feel like they mean goodwill about it, but I'm at a point now where if people keep telling me that, well, this is how you're feeling and this is what you're doing. That's not what I'm doing. This is not how I'm feeling. I know how I'm feeling. I've done the work to figure out how I'm feeling. I don't need you to tell me. Yeah. So, I'm good there. And I'm moving on. And that's what brings me to my video today, dating. So, I had been dating for a while, and I had been dating stuck to him. Like, still in this, imaginary relationship. So, I know the difference. I dated this guy we went out for a couple days, hung out for a while, really vibing. And I really felt like we had good communication and we were great together. But then he wanted me to be his girlfriend. And at the time, I wasn't ready for that. Clearly, because I was still stuck in another situation. And again, like I said, we had good communication. I expressed that to him. And I don't think he was willing to do the work with me. I don't feel like it was his priority to do the work, but I don't feel like he was willing to do the work with me and, be there through that process, even though he had kind of been there, but yeah. So I had to let him know, there's a lot of things that you want that I'm not ready for. There's a lot of things that I'm still dealing with and I don't feel comfortable bringing into another relationship, and you shouldn't feel comfortable asking me to, because that's not going to turn out good for you. So yeah, the one thing I'm glad about myself, because I had a really hard problem of finding someone, dang, he does this right, he does that right, and I'm just going to jump into it. And for the first time, I was put to that, I feel like these things are tests for me, and I was put to that test, and I was like, you know what? We ain't going to work. Bye. Bye. Yeah. So, yeah. And I felt great about it. No regrets or anything. You can leave. And I think the biggest part of becoming more comfortable with myself, becoming more set in my ways as a woman, and becoming the woman that I'm supposed to be, I'm okay with removing people from my life that aren't, they're not, like, we're not on the same page. So, bye. Sorry. Um, and that's what I did. And I started dating more people. It's funny because one time my mentor was like, "Hey, are you still dating those 10 guys or nah?" I'm like, "Nah." And so, oh, and I guess I should give a disclaimer to what I mean by dating. I mean, like, just like going out with people, maybe dinner, lunch, talking, having that conversation, like, the initial stuff. Nothing like being in a relationship. So yeah, I don't want people to think I'm like in a relationship with 10 people. But I'm a single woman advancing in my education, in my career, in my spiritual growth, and that's what's the most important to me. And I know before I was like, oh, my emotional life and my relationship and all that's so important, and it still is, because I still, I'm still dating, I'm still learning about myself in the area, but I really had to take a step back and look at where I'm putting most of my stock and how unhealthy it had become for me. Like, even though this is a big part of me, if it's going to be a big part of me and I want to grow in that area, it can't also be the part that's killing me and hurting me and holding me back. So I had to make changes. And so that's what I did. And it's been praying. There's been a lot of prayer. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. So I dated, and then I met someone else out of all these dates. Actually, I met 3 people. Whatever. And I can say that this guy and I have been dating for a while, and I think it's great. Again, looking at what's working for me, really. But I just want to talk about like the qualities that I'm really honing in on and understanding, because a lot of times say, well, I know what kind of man I want, I know what kind of man I want, I know what I want, blah, blah, blah. But we never actually list out those qualities or require those qualities. A lot of times we say, I know that this is something I can't handle and blah, 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 all these different things. Or I say, I know that I can handle this. And then we're tested and we fail because we accept things that we don't. Well, for me, I don't even be general. I've accepted things that I said, well, this is the kind of man I want. But like I've said, this is the kind of man I want, but I accept this kind of man. There's a huge disparity in between those two. And in part of growing up and understanding and doing the work, it's like, if I'm going to require something of someone else, I need to actually require that. Like, I can't just, like, oh, well, you have 6 out of 10, we'll rock with it. No. And I don't, people get me wrong with thinking, like, oh, this person has to be perfect. People are going to have their imperfection. That's fine. If I want somebody who can communicate with me, but they just they aren't able to find the words and things, that's fine. Like, the fact that you can make an attempt and we can move through that I can work with that. But I can't take someone being less than what I want for myself. And another part of that in this growth and doing the work is realizing that I can't say I want a 10 out of 10 man and be a 6 out of 10 woman. Like, that's not going to work. And so I feel like I'm at a place now where I'm actually ready to bring stuff to the table. I'm actually ready to turn down my crazy. And bring stuff to the table. And I think that's very important. And that has been very important in my dating interactions recently and over the span of the time. Like, actually knowing what it is that I'm looking for and knowing that I have to be able to bring what I'm looking for to the table and more, and would then hope that any man that wants to talk to me or date me or court me or whatever the case may be, that he's going to bring what I'm looking for to the table and more. Like, that's the direction I'm headed in.